There are so many underplayed cards in the format, so let's look at some interesting cards for our commander decks. First up, we have Riot. 4 mana, 3 and a black, creature imp, 1/1. Tap, untap target blue creature. Tap, choose target non-wall creature the active player has controlled continuously since the beginning of the turn. That creature attacks this turn if able. Destroy it at the beginning of the next instep if it did not attack this turn. Activate only before attackers are declared. Since they're so similar, let's go ahead and add Nettling Imp here. These two cards share the same activated ability. However, Nettling Imp is 1 less mana and doesn't have the other option of untapping a blue creature. It is important to note that if you select a creature that you know can't attack for whatever reason, whether it's already tapped when you've activated these abilities or whatever the case may be, they will still be destroyed at the end of the turn, even if the imps have left the battlefield. Remember that the creature can attack you unless for some reason it can't, so just make sure that when you're using something like this, you know it's not goad and they can still attack you, which can be beneficial because you could bait them into attacking. A lot of times you're going to use cards like this in decks specifically where you want your opponent's creatures to attack, and Riot has the additional upside of being able to untap a blue creature, so if you're playing with blue creatures in your deck, or if you want to politic with someone else, you can untap a blue creature. That's also useful. So unless you have access to blue, you're probably likely to choose Nettling Imp, or maybe you'll play both of them because you want the redundancy. Gossamer Chains. 2 white mana, enchantment. Return this enchantment to its owner's hand. Prevents all combat damage that would be dealt by target unblocked creature this turn. So on the surface, this card may not look very good, which is probably one of the reasons it's not very popular. However, these kind of effects are actually a little more useful than they may seem at first glance. A lot of times your opponents will look at cards like this and just think like, well, if I go ahead and attack you, that's a waste of my turn and I really need this combat damage trigger, or that's wasted damage, so I'm just going to attack someone else. And then the next player does the same thing, and the next player does the same thing, and before you know it, this thing has stopped people from poking at you completely, because in their eyes, it would be a waste of their turn to try to attack you. Walking Sponge. 2 mana, 1 in a blue, creature sponge, 1/1. Tap. Target creature loses your choice of flying, first strike, or trample until end of turn. This is one of 2 sponge creatures in the game, and its effect seems a little niche, but again, similar to the card we just looked at, you're going to end up in a situation where no one's going to want to attack you if they're relying on one of these keywords, such as flying, for example, because what's going to happen is they're going to be like, well, if I attack you, I'm risking my flyer because you're going to take its flying away. So it's a nice attack deterrent. But that's not all, because this card is also useful while we're attacking as well, because we can just make our opponent's creature lose flying. Maybe they only had 1 flying blocker, or we can get rid of that pesky first strike so that we don't have to risk our creature. Speaking of attacking, Goblin Grenadiers. 4 mana, 3 in a red, creature goblin, 2/2. Whenever this creature attacks and isn't blocked, you may sacrifice it. If you do, destroy target creature and target land. This card is going to be great if you can give it haste as well as some type of evasion, but it's not even necessary because this is commander and we can use politics to our advantage. Hey, so let me attack you with this. You won't take any damage and I won't target any of your permanents. And most people are going to take this deal because for them, they're not losing anything. You're giving up a card and you're taking 2 other cards from their other opponents. So either way, it's a win-win for them and they don't even have to take any damage. Honestly, 4 mana to destroy a creature and a land doesn't sound too bad, and people should play more targeted land destruction anyway. Our final card is Dawn Strider. 2 mana, 1 in a green, creature dryad spell shaper, 1/1. 1 green, tap, discard a card, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. While you do have to pay the 2 mana up front for the creature and let it sit on the battlefield for a turn until its summoning sickness is gone, being able to turn any card in your hand into fog is the ultimate combat deterrent, which is honestly the reason I love this card and the reason why you would play a card like this. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these cards. Do any of them fit in your decks? Or what other underplayed cards do you enjoy using? Until next time, thanks for watching.